Welcome back, guys. My second episode of a Factorio playthrough. I thought I'd start off with a little map that I joined a few days ago. In the very early stages, joined with another Steam player, and a few other people jumped on. Together we built this massive factory, and I sort of saved the map after we had been playing for a couple hours and then kept going with it. And thought I would show you the end result. So all of this that you see here is working towards launching this rocket here. This is your end result of the game. This is your ultimate goal for trying to beat Factorio. And you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here that we're going to be getting into. How to do all of this fun, neat-looking stuff. So let's see what happens, because I've never actually launched the rocket before. So let's give this baby a go. I got the satellite in the inventory, and boom, launch. Better stand back. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, there it goes. Alright, well, where is it? Ah, it's gone. Ooh, I got space science packs. That's kind of cool. So I wonder what we used that for. Okay, yeah, you've got to get space science packs to continue your research. Alright, well, anyways, we should probably go back to the basics. So I'm going to load up my other save, and we're going to see the basics of just how to start making electricity so that you can get going with a giant factory like this. Alright, here we go. So how do we make electricity? Well, early on in the game you're going to want to use steam power from steam turbines, and to do that, first thing you're going to need to do is mine some coal. So we're going to put down an electric mining drill. We want to be careful here. We don't want to place it on top of the stone. We don't want stone mixed in with our coal. So there's our electric mining drill, but as you can see, there's no power. We're going to have to make power here. In order to make power, you need two things. You need a boiler. Right, there's the boiler right there, and you're going to need a steam engine. And of course you're going to need a water source, because in order to boil anything, i.e. water, you're going to need a source of that water, so you're also going to need an offshore pump. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and place down our boiler. Let's grab one of those. And you can see there's different sides to it here. So we've got the two little blue arrows on each side that are the locations for water coming into the boiler, and then the big blue arrow at the top is where you want to connect the steam engine. Underneath that is where you need to feed in coal. So we're going to go ahead and place one right there, and now that we got our boiler down, we need a source of water. So I'm going to grab my offshore pump, going to place that down, and now I need to connect it with pipes. So you could connect it with these above ground pipes, but once you place those above ground pipes, you've kind of blocked your path there. You can't walk through there anymore. So kind of a better thing to do is, as much as possible when you're running pipe, you want to run the underground pipe. So you have a little tube like that, goes into the ground, and you can see where it connects, and boom, now I can walk freely back and forth. Right? So got my boiler, got water going into the boiler. Now I'm going to need to feed some coal into it. So I can just go ahead and load it with a little bit of coal. So now I'm boiling some coal away, but unfortunately it's not really doing anything yet, because now I need to connect it to a steam engine. So if I place a steam engine, boom. Now I'm feeding steam into the steam engine. In order to generate electricity now, all I need to do is connect power lines. So I'll put boom, boom, boom. And now my little electric mining drill is making coal, but it stops because the coal needs somewhere to go. So now I'm going to lay down some conveyor belts. Right? So we're going to go conveyor belt go in there. Oh, wouldn't you know it? Power cable in the wrong spot. So let's move that cable. You're going to go right there. There we go. Come right along. And boom. There we go. And we're going to use, instead of using an electric inserter, we're going to use a burner inserter. So these things are coal powered. They first grab themselves a little piece of coal, and then they start feeding. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Ha! There we go. So now my inserter, you see the inserters, has got the little flat line there on one side and the arrow on the other. It pulls from the flat line and then inserts into the arrow. So now, anytime this boiler needs coal, it's going to feed it right into the boiler. The steam engine is going to use the steam from the boiler to make electricity, And now we can start making more of these electric mining drills, and we can start automating some smelting processes with inserters as well. So let's go over and look at a little setup for smelting. Okay, so smelting. Here we go. We got a few electric mining drills on our coal field and on our iron field. So now we need to put down a furnace here, just for an example here. So we want to be able to automatically feed coal and iron ore into this furnace so that we don't have to keep loading it manually. So if we run a little conveyor belt here up to the furnace, and then we run a conveyor belt of coal up to the furnace, we can add a couple of these electric inserters. They can both be feeding in. We can have a little inserter that takes out, and now all we got to do is power these guys up, and boom, we have a little automated process. Now we can have a little conveyor belt with iron plates coming off the conveyor belt. So the way this is set up right now isn't really efficient, because what you really want to do is be able to tile your setups and just have long chains of furnaces. We want a bunch of furnaces like this, kind of all going in a line. And we want to have all the iron coming off of one side, and we want to have all the ingredients coming in on the other. So one way to do that, and there's lots of different ways, there's lots of different setups, but one of the easiest things you can do early on is we want to combine these belts. So we're going to come like this, and we're going to go like this, and then we're going to put one in the middle here. And so now iron ore will always be on the right side of this belt, coal will always be on the left. We just run this all the way down the line, and we get a bunch of inserters. We go boom, 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 boom. Then we have the output inserters. Boom, 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 boom. And of course they all need power, so we need to drop some power cables here. Go like that, like that. Go like that. There. And need some more power cables. So let's make a few of those. Boom, boom. And there we go. Now we got a little chain of furnaces all cranking out iron plates. We can feed all those iron plates onto the conveyor belt, and you're making a ton of iron plates now. So if we leave them on the belt, then they're going to back up, and then our production is going to slow down eventually. So one thing you could do temporarily here in the beginning part of the game, if you don't have all of your automation lines set up right away, we could start storing it in a little box. So we could put the box at the end of the conveyor belt, put the inserter down there, and there we go. We've got the iron plates feeding into that box. But again, this isn't really the most efficient setup. What you're really going to want to be able to do is have a smelting area of your map with lots and lots of furnaces all piling out onto a few lines for iron plates. You want the same thing for copper, so you want all your iron together, you want all your copper together. And typically the way it ends up going is you end up with what we call a main bus of 4 lines of conveyor belts full of copper, and then we skip a few spaces, and then we leave room for 4 lines of copper. Wait, did I say copper already? 4 lines of iron, 4 lines of copper. And then you can leave room for some other things too, like fluids to run pipes here. That would be a good thing to put down the middle here. Would be some fluid pipes. Oh, puppy's whining. I think puppy needs to go outside. So we'll do that in just a second, doggy. Alright, so, and then you can have a little bit of room over here for some other components that you're going to be making in your factory as well. So the idea is that all these pieces are going to be ingredients, and we're going to feed them into little assemblers, and we're going to make little parts in those assemblers, and then we're going to make more and more complicated parts, and we're just going to have this big long assembly line where we make all this neat stuff. So that'll be the next episode where we start assembling things with our iron plates. So I'm going to spend a little time here ramping up production of my iron plates. I'm going to get some smelting going for copper ore, and we're going to see if we can't fill up some belts here to get things going. See you next time.